The Quench, where you ask, we answer.
And we are back. Now, before we went on a break, we broke down what youth leadership is and how young people can get involved in leadership initiatives within our community. Now, we want to talk about youth and governance. Oftentimes, the youth have said, we are not involved, we are not being asked these questions. And yes, they are not being involved, but can they actually speak without being spoken to? I feel like that is the whole essence behind leadership, taking initiative. So I want to come to my audience and I want to ask you the question of, how can youths take part in governance? How can you take part in government initiatives? And how can you take part in legislations? Let me get a few answers from the top of your mind. What are some of the things that you can do to take part in governance?
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Barbara. So I feel like we as youth, we've embraced social media. So it's social media is one of the most like embraced, you know. So we can use social media to like air out our points, our viewpoints, and also our grievances. Yeah. Like where we feel like we're being oppressed, we can, you know, post in social media, you know, like how people do in case they see a police harassing someone, they post it and maybe they ask the relevant authorities to, you know, handle the issue or give out their points. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Another one. Let's get another one.
I'm Elizabeth. So you can take part by educating. You first learn about the rights of the citizens. Then you educate others, because in our society you find that some of the rights are being exploited. So when you teach the people about their rights, they are going to be aware and you're going to help some way in governance. Okay,
how do you teach them about their rights?
Okay, so you can attend some gatherings and ask for a platform, even like 10 minutes, to educate people for a few things that they're supposed to know about their rights.
Yeah. Oh, okay, nice. Let's get another one.
Hi, I'm Tracy. So I think using magazines, newspapers, and articles, we can issue out the issues of government and where they oppress the youths, like the jobs. Using the articles, we can issue out all those issues.
Oh, okay, nice, yes.
For me, I can say that, for example, when we close schools, I can maybe, for example, to say like us boarding schools, we close earlier than day schools. You find that the day schools wajafunga shule. You attend, you just talk to the higher authorities. No, I want to talk to you. Then you can speak to the other youths. You can speak to the teachers. Sasa walimu wakisikia wanaenda, na by the way kuna mtu alisema hivi na hivi. Then you can attend even in the church, ask for a chance to preach to the men and women in the church, in different churches. Because when the grace of God is upon you, you can preach to many people. So when he or she gets that idea, wanna spread, and maybe it can make a change.
Let's get the last one on the side.
My name is Grace, and as for me, I can say we youths can use our representatives. Like see at every place kuna the MCAs and the MPs wenye wako karibu na sisi. So like we can use them, even the chiefs and all those council of elders, to air out our grievances and all those problems we face.
Okay. That's a very nice idea. So let's start by saying that these things are easier said than done. Can you all agree on that? So you really need to push. When you decide you actually want to make a change in governance, you really need to push. I want to come to you, Mr. Waithaka. I want you to add on to what they have said and actually give us specific examples instead of general answers. Give us specific examples on how the youth can get involved in governance.
Thank you. The youth can get involved in governance in various ways. For instance, just like Grace have said, you can reach out to elected leaders. These days, leadership has been devolved per se, because you have the MCAs, we have the chiefs, we have the sub-chiefs, we have even offices near where we come from, like the leadership of the government. So in case there is something that you are pushing, it begins by pushing it through the community leaders, even the Nyumba Kumi, there is Wazee, there is even wale wa mama wa mtaa. You can push it through that way. Again, even beside using the social media, which is very fast, sometimes it's good to vet exactly the change you are pushing to be vetted by other people, possibly who are senior than you, so that you don't propagate something that cannot be bought by the government of the day, or be seen like you are being rude, or you are beginning a group or a militia. Yeah, we have seen youth beginning groups where they're saying we don't want this leader. They are fighting the same leaders. They want to become our leaders occupying the position. They are trying also to get the position. It may not work that way. Number one, it begins by embracing those who are in leadership, approaching them, sit down with them and have dialogue. Instead of throwing tantrums, you know, doing other issues. Okay, the other issues like picketing, which are allowed by the law. But before you go to that, have you approached your local leaders? Have you discussed with them? Meaning you can begin change from where you are. Governance can begin from where you are. Even civic leaders approach the government offices, the officers in various government offices. Take your ideas there. So you'll be listened and you'll be guided on how to present. For instance, also when you want to change even the issue about legislation through the parliament and either the county assembly or the national parliament, your immediate MP will help you. They will teach you how to craft certain laws and how to present it. They also present it for you in parliament. Since you cannot make a change immediately, you cannot approach the parliament that you want a change. You must use your elected leaders. So you cannot kind of try to avoid them or ignore them and expect that that change will go through. It will be met with resistance. So you must work with the local leaders.
Follow the set on core strategies, certain core protocols that are necessary to see through that change, okay? You have recognized that maybe the river in your place is not cleaned enough. Who are the necessary authorities to go to? Once that doesn't work, go to social media and call them out. Say you did this and it didn't work out. Instead of doing what people normally do at this time, you don't go to the necessary authorities, but you're busy calling them out through that. That's not the right way. There's a protocol and there's a system for all of things to happen. Now let's talk about the roles of parents and teachers when it comes to ensuring that they bring about leaders, okay? So tell me, what do you think that parents, what can your parents do to bring about young leaders? What do you think that the teachers can do within school settings and outside school settings in order to bring about leaders? Let's get a few views. Anything at the top of your head? I see a hand over here.
One thing is that they should be good role models to us, so as we can do as they are doing. So I can't expect my mom to be doing this thing and I do the like nafanya kinyume na so like when she sets a good example to me, I have to follow her footsteps.
Oh, nice. Say it, be a good role model. This message is going to the parents and the teachers outside there. Let's get the microphone here.
Another thing is they should be good listeners. Like they should hear us out, our ideas, what we propose, and even to point out the main views and good listeners.
Yes, they should be good listeners. They should be willing to listen. You can't want to make change by speaking about something no one is listening to you. Yes?
Hi, I'm Evelyn, and I think parents and teachers should be encouraging because in this leadership area, there's a lot of opposition challenges that people face. So I think they should be able to encourage the leaders not to quit, but to continue on with their leadership.
No, nice. They should be encouraging.
Yeah, so I'm Barbara. I think they should also be observant because leadership skills, just as Madam Rahab has said, begin when you're young, you know. So they should be observant because sometimes we as the youth, we don't know our leaders. So we need someone to, observe us and they're like, oh, you're a good leader. And they should also be supportive of us. You find sometimes, I heard of a case that there was this girl who studied in this school. While she was being interviewed, she said that, you know what, I wanted to become an MCA, but my dad told me that, government is for specific people. You see, that killed her dream, and now she decided to maybe do something else. So support is what we as the youth really need.
Okay, let's get another one.
They should
be able to give direction, because as leaders we tend to do something that are wrong, so we need direction in what we should do, because we are not always right. So if need be, we should get directions. Yes,
oh, nice. The last one. Let's get the last one from here. What should our parents and our teachers do so that they can bring out that leadership in us?
So, Nelly, I think that parents and teachers should embrace what the children want to do. For example, if you want to do like collection, you have a group and you want to collect litter in your area, but your parent discourages you because anasema hiyo ni kazi ya kichokora, and you are doing something that will help the community. Let's say, like for example, minimize the health problems that are caused because of the pollution that are there.
Yeah, that's also true. So, Madam Rahab, tell us, please, what do you think they should do, parents and teachers? What do you think they should do so that they can push these young people to be the best leaders that they can actually be for our community?
Okay, thank you. So one, as one has said, teachers and parents should identify those leaders while they are young. Then the next thing, they should encourage them, as they have said, and then train them.
Okay.
Like in a high school setup, we train prefects, isn't it? They go for a course every year. You train them so that they can know, they know what they are supposed to do. They know their responsibilities. They know their qualities needed, and again, what they are going to face. Because again, when you are leading other people, there are challenges and how to handle them. Then they should train them to see that leadership is important in any community. People need leadership.
Yes.
And again, God himself is the one who chooses leaders. So when they believe that leadership comes from God, they'll accept it.
Yes.
Again, young people should be taught to be patriotic. Uzalendo. That was we are lacking in our country. And that's why we don't have many young people who are leaders. It starts from you are 18. One, you don't have an ID. Or rather, you have an ID, but during registration, voters registration, you don't register. Like, juzi tulikuwa uchaguzi, sio? I was surprised. Utafiti uliofanyika ulionyesha kwamba wale wako na kura nyingi ni kuanzia miaka mingapi? Over 40 to 60 years. Ndio walikuwa na kura nyingi. Na hao ndio walikuwa katika vituo vya kupigia nini? Kura. Je, vijana walikuwa wapi? Now, wow, they are the first people to complain, and they are the majority.
Yeah.
Wengi hawakuwa na kura. They don't care, but they are the first people to
complain.
How are you going to be involved in governance? You don't register as a voter. So when you are voting for our leaders, you don't vote. Then why complain? Another thing, if one leader who is a young person akijitokeza ili mchague, atachaguliwa na nani? Nani anajua kijana? Ni vijana
wenzake.
Wazee wanajua vijana? Sasa atachaguliwa na nani? So that's why we are having very few leaders who are young people. Patriotism. Our children, or rather these young people, hawajui kuipenda nchi yao. Uwe tayari kuifia nchi yako, kuitetea. Utatetea nchi yako vipi ukiwa nje kama hauko katika serikali? Kwa serikali utaingia vipi? Kwanza uwe mpiga kura. Ili uweze kusupport another person to go there. And it's so that at least anaweza watetea. Atawatetea vipi akiwa nje? It is a bit difficult. So the issue is about training and patriotism. We have missed that point. If we get that point, most of the young leaders that we have, all the young people, are going to be in leadership, and then we are going to have changes. Now, mtakaa mkilalamika, mambo hayaendi vizuri, wazee ndio wanaingia, nini, lakini nyinyi, how do you support that? So, ukiangalia kama watu ambao wako university, that is the age of 18 to 25, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most of them, they are not voters. Wala wako vijijini, young people, when you are going to vote, tulikuwa tunaona wamekaa tu kwenye maduka. Ukiuliza mtu, ati, I'm going to vote, at what time? Na ni kufungwa, kituo kinafungwa. Hana nini? hana kura. Tuko pamoja? So if you want to be involved, then in this registration, making change in the government, let us come out strongly. Thank you.
Nicely, nicely. So tell us, what do you think are the parents-teacher initiatives that these people outside there can actually do to bring out the leaders within the young people here?
All right, thank you. It goes again to say this. Parents and teachers should identify the leadership skills and also the leadership skill. And sometimes you can identify the potential of a student and mentor that. But I think another challenge that we are having is because many want to lead, but they don't want to be led. There could be a parent or teachers who want to mentor the young people, but they are not willing to follow. Because number one, you cannot be a leader if you don't follow. It calls for consistency in following a particular course and a particular person.
Yes.
So as a young person, you number one, you need to identify who do you want to mentor you. Get a person who is elder than you. These days I hear young people calling one another mentors. Some of the same age. You cannot be mentored by your age mate. You need to forget about that. They're even calling one another moms and dads. It doesn't work that way. You must identify somebody who is older than you. Now, that comes boiled to your parent. Number one, your parent is your number one leader.
Yes.
You may not like the way they do them, but you don't have to criticize them. One day you'll be old enough, you'll do things the way you think or the way you want. So you don't have to criticize your parent when tell you this is the way follow. What you need to do, follow consistently. Madam said here one day you'll be a parent. What goes around comes around. So you must accept, first of all, being led first, so that even in the future you'll become a leader. So the same case with teachers, to identify leaders amongst the student, like we have been doing, identifying prefects. We have various clubs and societies. This is where we are beginning. Actually, it's like a nursery or an incubation of leadership. It begins in high school, sometimes in primary school. We have students who are head girls in primary school. They are now in the same position, learning the way. It means they are accepted to be mentored. But ukiwa kichwa ngumu unaambia fanya hivi ufanye, ndio wengine unakuta wengine wanatolewa because they are not following. And because when you're a leader, you have the potential to mislead others. When you are seen like you are likely to deviate, you are removed quickly because leadership comes with the mantles. If you are going to abuse that mantle, because leadership also has influence, you are likely to influence people in the wrong way.
Yes.
That mantle of leadership is denied or taken away from you. And you'll be in there complaining, hawakuniona, walinionea, lakini immediately unakuta watu wana shift kutoka kwako, wanaenda kwa mwingine. So as teachers, our role is to identify the same case. And sometimes the weakest people have become leaders.
Yes.
Because somebody identified. Think about our president, the late Mzee Kibaki. He was nowhere, because number one hangelima, so akafukuzwa kwa shamba. So aliambiwa apelekwe shuleni kwa sababu there was nothing good angefanya. But you can imagine the contribution amefanya to Kenya and even the economy. Yes. Everybody is talking about Mzee Kibaki, who was nowhere. Alipelekwa shule kwa sababu he was good for nothing, in quotes, in the village setup. But now you can see the kind of a person who was mentored through the president. Now he became one of the greatest presidents. Yes. So the key thing, accept to be mentored. You need to be mentored, look for an elder person. Somebody who is of good age, who can mentor you. Yes. Not your age mate. They always tell you to do this, do that, and most of the time they will mislead you.
Yes, yes. Oh, that is a very nice comment. Let's just clap for that. So, now that we're winding up, I think let's take a few things home. Number one, you can be a leader, okay? Right now, you, at this age, you can be a leader. You can make that change that is needed in your community. The small things do matter. Follow the protocol. Accept to be involved in governance. When you get of age, pick up your what? Your voter's card, okay? Actually go there and make a decision. Make a decision for yourself, for your community, and for your country. Be patriotic. All of these things are the things that we're taking home. And by the end of the day, it is as simple as this. Becoming a youth leader is identifying that there is something that needs to be done and doing it. All right? We also talked about leaders, you being your own leader, you being your own personal leader, it is possible, okay? So make the decision, you hear the audience and those ones at home, to become a young community leader today. Look around, find a problem, solve it. It could be as selfish and as simple as you have identified that there is, you don't have enough money. So you and your siblings have identified that you could make shambalas. So you have pushed them to make shambalas and to sell them. You see, you have taken initiative and you have solved a problem. That, ladies, that is leadership. And at home, parents and teachers, we have had the young ladies here today telling us what they ought to do, what they need to do, what we as the parents and the teachers need to do so we can bring out the leadership from them. And that conversation was on leadership and the youth. My name is Wangeshi Karemi, and this was The Quench. I'll see you next time.
The Quench, where you ask, we answer.